everyone, this is part 2 of my series on 180s, where I'm going to be talking about the more advanced applications of 180s, which are more situational, and having fundamental knowledge of these techniques will help you understand the intentions behind them, as well as when you should be using them. First off, I want to talk about cone placements, because when you're doing a 180 and you see that your opponent is still tracking you very well, you can place a cone instead to block any shots, and because of the extended range of cone placements, you can protect yourself really quickly from any potential gunfire. And instead, you continue to double ramp, where you look for better openings to take high ground. Now with cone placements on double ramping, and how they can be helpful, when you have your ramps placed out, you have time to look directly up to place a cone, and then place another cone right in front of you. The first cone blocks off any enemies who decide to track you and follow your ramp, which is why most smart enemies will be one floor above you as they track, because they don't want to get blocked by your cone. Now, the second cone allows you to edit through with extra protection as you do your 180. Alternatively, you can misdirect your opponent's tracking, because they'll see your double ramp and they'll preemptively build to respond to the direction that you're going. And you can misdirect them because of the placement of your first cone. Instead of following through with your first edit and being read by your opponent, you can do a 180, turn around and edit your stairs, edit your cone, and build up through this side. You'll have more space away from your opponent, and having more space means less pressure and more room to capitalize on your opponent and retake high ground, like such as doing a triple 90, or just because you capitalize on his mistake of dropping down on you, expecting you to do a 180 here. An alternative way to misdirect your opponent is while you're double ramping and you go to do your 180, you finish with your ramp and a cone, and that implies that you're going in the direction of the opponent that's tracking you above your double ramp. But instead of following through with the edit, you jump up, place a floor, and proceed to go in the opposite direction. So hopefully he will act according to the information that you are pushing towards him, but instead you're actually building up in the opposite direction, and if that is able to fool him, you'll have gained high ground while he is below. Another application of 180s is what most people call the safe retake. When doing a 180, instead of placing ramps after your walls, you're going to want to place a floor above and below you, and then continue double ramping in another direction. This helps you build up and away from your opponent, and it lets you safely continue to analyze the situation, as well as give you more space away from the other player. Because of the additional space, it gives you a better chance at retaking high ground, because he'll likely be following you, and you can act accordingly to that. And once you find that you have enough space, you can choose to either do your 180s to get above him, or try to ramp over him, because he will be following you and trying to get a good shot off. And it's called the safe retake because of how you are constantly blocking yourself off, and your opponent does not have many opportunities to get a shot at you. In the meantime, you are still gaining height as well as getting more space away from your opponent. So by understanding the reasoning behind a lot of these techniques, hopefully you'll be able to use them a lot more in your games and become more confident in yourself as a player. Hopefully I was able to teach you guys something, and feel free to subscribe to my YouTube or follow me on Twitch. I'd be happy to help and give advice to any players that are wishing to improve. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.